I'm just trying to prove everybody wrong. I didn't get drafted. At the end of the day, I still got to go out and work.
Daishen Nix, born February 13th, 2002. Nowadays, there's much more options and routes to the NBA available to the amateur players than it was back then, and one of those ways is high school players skipping the traditional college route to join a pro team for a year, making them eligible for the NBA draft. It's a system that worked out for a lot of players like LaMelo Ball, Jalen Green, Scoot Henderson, and far back as Brandon Jennings, one of the pioneers of this move, but is one that does not protect young, underdeveloped kids from themselves and sometimes parents that don't fully understand the risk of such a move. Today's feature, Daishen Nix, was a McDonald's All-American in high school, the 17th ranked prospect in the country, who committed to UCLA and signed a letter of intent to attend and play for the Bruins before decommitting to take his chances down a newly implemented pathway called the G League Ignite, started in 2020 and folded in 2024, who took highly rated prospects and placed them in the G League with hopes they can develop them against just below NBA caliber talent to prepare them for the draft the following year. It was an interesting and lucrative avenue to the league that's paid its signees up to $1.1 million. With this, the NCAA faced a huge problem of losing its top prospects who would almost all certainly choose this route and be paid right out of high school, instead of the NCAA system where you were not allowed to be paid amateurs playing against competition that's levels below the NBA and a different game altogether. The NCAA's response to this? The NIL deals. Now players can receive as high as a $4.5 million valuation, which Bronny James received for his 1 year in college for their likeness. Of course, this came a year after Nix decided to make a quote, family decision and take the $300,000 he was given to play for the G League Ignite, and for him it didn't work out as planned. He averaged just 8.8 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 turnovers. He also shot just 17% from 3 and 38% from the field in 26 minutes over 15 games. Add to that, his plus minus was negative 1.5. He went undrafted in 2021, then played on the Sixers Summer League team, leading to signing a 4-year contract with the Houston Rockets, who months later converted his deal to a 2-way contract. This meant most his time would be spent in the G League once again, and limited opportunity a definite possibility. It guaranteed his earnings to up to $6 million over 4 years before he was waived by the team and signed with the Timberwolves on a 1-year deal that expired after the 23-24 season, making him currently a restricted free agent. Did it go wrong for Daishen Nix? In my opinion, yes and no, depending how you look at it, but it definitely hurt his future for these reasons. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Daishen Nix is a 6'3" point guard previously listed at 6'5" for whatever reason, from Fairbanks, Alaska, raised in Anchorage where he picked up basketball as a sport, moving to Las Vegas after his 8th grade year as their first big family decision, and that turned out to be a great one for his career to that point. With much more exposure, Nix flourished for Trinity International School, leading them to a state title and averaging over 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists as a junior, while winning the National Christian School Association Player of the Year. His senior year was much of the same, except he was recognized as a top 3 point guard in the country, McDonald's All-American, with the option to skip college and go straight to the pros. Initially, he was committed to college, but changed his mind to accept a G League Ignite deal for 1 year, $300K. Stunt number 1 for the moment. Let's start here because I do believe that off the floor, for the moment, I would say financially things actually worked out for Nix by choosing the pro route instead of going to UCLA, even though he lost out on NIL opportunities the year after he went pro. He initially signed a 4-year, $6 million deal with the Houston Rockets, even though he went undrafted in the 2021 draft, with $2 million guaranteed, which is more than you could ask for as a player that wasn't one of the top 30 names called in the first round, meaning guaranteed contracts much less one of the 30 in the second round. He got the chance to make $6 million in total in 4 years, which many people can say they achieved right out of high school without having to go the traditional route. Even after he was waived by the team after 2 seasons and 81 games, he signed with the Minnesota Timberwolves on a 1-year deal worth more than $2 million. So from 2021 through 2024, he had the chance to make over $8 million. Because he stayed just 2 seasons with the Rockets, he made over $2 million, plus his Timberwolves deal adding another $2 million for 1 year and extending his time in the NBA. Financially, compared to a normal working person's earnings, $4 million is a job well done for a kid just 22 years old. But what it did was typecast him in a few ways, one being financially, where now unless he improves drastically, teams will always view him as a minimum financial investment, or even worse, his play declines and teams feel he's expendable because of his easy-to-move contract, or financially it won't dent their pockets. The decision to turn pro wasn't exactly a bad one, but because he didn't perform well with the Ignite and went undrafted, then having the 3 years he did, it could send him down a path he's never given the right opportunity to earn a long-term contract or situation with one team. Stunt number 2, slow-footed and can't shoot. A few other issues with Daishen Nix that could very well help stunt number 1 in making him a journeyman and likely playing somewhere overseas before 25 is the fact he's just not athletic enough for the NBA level. Back in high school, we saw him easily blow by defenders in his small Christian school league, and just when he was about to face a stage like the McDonald's All-American game, it was cancelled due to the global pandemic. That game may have very well changed his mind about not going to UCLA, where I think he would have been a great college point guard. Kids these days think that developing against other pros on the pro level will automatically make their games better, when that's not always true. A huge key to developing the talent or skill you have is building confidence in those talents because you've proven to yourself it can work at a high level. When you go to college as a top high school prospect, you go to a school happy to have you and eager to put you in situations that can really help you develop confidence, then build on that by being validated because of your achievements on the college level, possibly leading to a high draft pick and guaranteed 4 years, not to mention a team invested in you being successful in the league. To me, that's what Nix certainly could have been after a few years in college. After 3 seasons in or affiliated with the NBA, he's instead shown that he's a beat slower than other NBA guards and doesn't have the foot speed or savvy to beat defenders off the dribble without a pick and roll. With a league PER average of 15, Nix has been below that every season, usually ranked top 10 worst in the league over the last 3 years. Much of this is because he doesn't get easy drives to the rim, and he's not able to get in the lane and create for others. He's also shot horribly his first 2 seasons at under 30% from 3 both years. In 23-24, 6 games for the Iowa Wolves, Minnesota's affiliate, he shot 20% from 3, 65% from the free throw line, and 37% from the field. With these numbers, Nix has a lot of work to do if he wants to stick around. But strictly eye test alone, I'm not sure how long he lasts as he gets heavier and seemingly slower, definitely less athletic than his high school prime. Stunt number 3, typecasted. Lastly, Daishen Nix at this point runs the risk of being viewed a certain way that is not conducive to a long NBA career. He's seen as a guy that didn't live up to the potential he had early on that earned him an opportunity to leap to the pros right out of high school. He's played for 2 different teams now after being evaluated for a year with the Ignite, then going undrafted and having 3 disappointing individual seasons where he was regularly one of the worst point guards in the league. He's a restricted free agent currently, with teams having a chance to offer him a long-term contract that the Timberwolves can match and re-sign him themselves. Will they? I think he does get another chance with some team in the league, but because of his past 3 seasons, I also think the news on Nix is that he'll never be seen as a starting point guard in the NBA, as clearly he's just not on the level of NBA point guards. In the G League, he's solid, but on the NBA level, I don't see a skill a team can count on developing at the moment. All in all, you can never give up on a young guy with experience, but in Nix's case, I don't think he was developed enough before the pros got a hold of him, and that hurt his confidence and resume to feel his worth. As a pro, he's been a bit disappointing, and I don't know how long that lasts in the league. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth is stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.